live, and we'll go back over here. And hello! Good morning, wonderful people, and welcome to Magical Monday.
It's Monday again already.
with the lovely Lisa and the average Anton.
The average Anton? I don't know. I'd say the awesome Anton.
Well, I suppose.
Average. Anything average about you,
well,
my
no.
dear.
I suppose there is that.
I wonder if we're going to be able to see if anyone's viewing us or not today, or if it's going to be a stink
well,
again.
there was an update to Livestream
updates
Studio.
Updates are always wonderful.
Aren't they fun? Yes, I'm going to go over there because I rather suspect it may be... well, I can say Gilda's watching
Gilda,
us. So
hi Gilda.
obviously they fixed it because it still says...
Yeah, it still says nobody's watching, although we can see Gilda over here.
We can see that that's not the case.
Happy birthday, my fellow Aquarian. It must be getting close or just past.
Is it her birthday? Oh, happy birthday,
well, she's Aquarian,
Gilda.
so it's got to be somewhere around.
Oh, yes, the Aquarians.
We got lots to talk about today.
Coming out the woodwork, aren't they?
Aquarian is coming out the woodwork. We
are
in the Aquarius birth month.
Yes. Well.
Yes, I get to celebrate my birth month. Well, and believe me, Linda made me enough cupcakes that I could eat one every day for a month.
Bloody yummy. Thank you, Linda. I indulged there as well.
She made me my favorite carrot cake. Carrot cake cupcakes. And I can freeze some so that I can have them for the whole birthday month. So
how about that then? How about that? Well, I hope this is working. I see Gilda's waved at us. If you can actually hear us and things are actually working, just say hi.
This is so strange because
there appears to be the surrealness. It says
nobody's watching.
No, there is. Well, it says nobody's watching there, but that always lies like a cheap watch, and they still haven't fixed it yet. So I don't know. Well, look, no, there's people watching, but just chime in and say hi. I said we got away from Gilda, but that may have been before we started. I do not know. So say hi if you're watching. I know there's it'll take about 10 seconds. There you go. Hello, Anna.
Hi, Anna. Okay.
Yes, we're working.
All right.
And Gilda can hear us. That's
all
good.
Right,
Perfect.
good.
Thank you.
Just
my
checking
mind is at
because
rest.
Sometimes things are very wonky. I know I taught the Chakra Crystal Energy course yesterday, and one of the people who had to Zoom had an update to her computer. So, of course...
Apparently somebody rang the doorbell.
All right. So, of course, she couldn't use the video on her computer because it kept, flashing all over the place. It was terrible.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no. So this is what updates do.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, look, a bunch of people are chiming in.
All right,
and
so that's good.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Hello, Frabble family. Cassie from Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's Cassie Frabel. I know her. Yes, I do.
Well, there you go. Well,
yeah.
Well, welcome, Mike.
It's Frabel, by the way.
Frabel.
That's okay. I've known her...
Frabel, I don't know.
For a very, very, very long time.
There you go. And the good news is Wendy's computer's now working.
Yay!
Glad you sorted that one out.
Well, there she is.
Hello.
He said, oh my gosh, I want to help Wendy, but we have to go on air. I said, well, the reason she's asking for help is because she'd probably like to watch.
This was true. I don't know. Sometimes... I know I've done the same thing. I thought I put something on charge and forgot, and you come to it and things just don't work without electricity. It's really annoying, but such is life.
All right, crew.
So, gosh. Hello, Paulette, and hello, Savannah, and hello, Mikey wishes you a happy belated birthday.
Well, happy birthday. Thank you very much.
And Charlotte Mew would love to come in and crash the shot.
Very upset. Well, I'll tell you why. Charlotte's favorite thing to do is watch chipmunks on YouTube.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
No, but she thinks we probably are.
Oh, okay.
So, I'll do paperwork and she'll lay here and I'll put the chipmunks on TV for her.
Chipmunk TV, eh?
Yeah, so she's like, you guys are in there and I really want to come and see the chipmunk TV. I know I'm missing out. That's her thing.
I just noticed you've got blue mascara on.
I do have blue mascara on.
How nice.
It's like an 80s throwback.
Almost clashes with my shirt.
No. Well, we really aren't very matchy today.
Well, we sort of
I don't clash, but I'm merely the goddess of the underworld tones, and you're like the morning
you
sun.
well, you
kind
know
of-
that I'm trying to make early crocuses pop up here.
There
Maybe
you
that's
go.
what it is, you know, because I know
Sounds
the,
like a
the
plan to
unfortunate
me.
thing, we've had such a mild January and it's been
Oh,
it's
yeah,
been
I'm
lovely.
afraid now, though.
But apparently we've got a bit of an Arctic front coming in tonight, so the next week's going to be a little cold. There may be. I'm doing me weatherman now, aren't I?
All right. Well, I'll talk to you about it magically,
I'll go for it then.
right? So we wake the Mari, the Winter Queen,
Mm-hmm.
who kind of asks you, you know, are you prepared for the dark time and
Mm-hmm.
what have you done to get your act together? We wake the Mari at the Taurus full moon, which is the morning
Right,
moon,
right.
fixed Earth. And we usually put her to sleep at the Leo full moon, fixed fire.
Right.
But I was saying this to a few people in the community earlier, that when a full moon falls on a Sabbath,
Yes.
the Sabbath takes precedence.
Well, it's going to fall smack bang on.
So 15 degrees Aquarius is Imbolc or Gualmer, and the full moon is on the same day. So we're going to put the Mari to sleep at the Pisces new moon, which means she gets an extra 2 weeks.
Oh my.
So I think the first 2 weeks of February might be pretty entertaining for the Winter Queen's last romp in our...
Grizzle. No.
In our
no.
circle.
I refute it.
dear.
I know Christopher loves snow. He's secreted himself in bleeding Finland.
Hi, Carol.
Oh, hello. Oh, yes. My
Oh,
bird
my-
likes
Bird likes to
Birdie
watch
Zen
Birdie
TV.
Zen TV. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, why not? I love animals. They're so
Yeah.
it's not-
So that's
they're-
kind of our little thing about the weather.
yeah.
In fact, I was asked a wonderful question yesterday in class. Somebody said, "What's the difference between astronomy and astrology?" And I said, "Nothing." I said,
They never used to be.
I believe it was the Catholic Church that separated those two subjects to get rid of the heretics. Anyway,
True.
so you know how we'd talked about the first tick of the age of Aquarius, and we said like 1960 to 2020 was like the first tick in to the age of Aquarius.
Like 60 years is one tick, right?
Right, we'll look at that section. And it ended, I said we could see the final click of that first 60 years being the grand conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius on the winter solstice of 2020. So for people who've been watching a while, I had said that perhaps the Mayan Baktun calendar meant 12-21-20 and instead of 12-21-12, because that would have been the final cycle. The grand conjunction would have ended the grand conjunctions every 20 years in earth signs, and that would have been the first one in an air sign, and that'll be the next 200 years that they'll come together in air signs. All right.
I have to look something up just for a second because you just got my mind going. But please continue.
Okay.
I'm just going to look this up.
So if we looked at now, like what is going to happen with this next tick? So we'd like to talk about comparing 2021 through the next 10 years to the 1970s. And we'll see if we can think about some coincidences, which I always say there are no coincidences, there's only synchronicities, of what's going on now and may go on for the next 8 years or so compared to the 1970s. But what I'd like to say is we're going to be experiencing this now in the age of Aquarius in the second tick. So we've got our little bag of experience. You know, like when we have our first Saturn return, we come from that place of being in our late 20s and we think we know everything, and then we think, oh my God, I'm going to be old, I'm going to be 30, blah, blah, blah. And once we finish our first Saturn return, we think, oh, I'm so much wiser now, and I made all these great decisions. And then when we come to our second Saturn return, we can look back at the first one and look at the decisions we've made and how they affected our lives over that 30-year increment. And we can make really more educated decisions about the next 30 years. So what I'd like you to understand is I'm not predicting gloom and doom. In fact, quite the opposite. I'm saying that we've already come through the 1970s, so we have life experience, and now we can come through the 2020s with those transformations being offered and those challenges and opportunities, and make better decisions. What would you like to say?
No, I just wanted to say that because you're talking about ticks, and I'm not on about those horrible little bitey things, but
He's made me raise my eyebrows quite a few times.
I'm a bit of a geek, you know.
Yeah, I understand. And that cycle of 60 is a big
well,
thing to you.
yeah, well, it is sexagesimal, and I was wondering whether, you know, how long exactly a tick was, so I had to go look it up because it is actually a unit of time. A tick is actually a unit of time, and it is 100 nanoseconds, if you really want to know, which is about 1/1,000,000th of a second, I think.
Well, what is time anyway?
So 1/1,000,000th of a second is one tick. That puts things in the perspective. So
well, we're
the
talking about
60
a 2,000
years you're
year,
talking about in the whole grand scheme of
a 2,000-year tick.
It's just like a second, isn't it?
Right, right. But,
one tick on the clock.
But today I'd really like to talk to people. Well, first of all, we can see that we've come the 60-year cycle for, a generation, for the year of the water rabbit. In fact, I felt kind of famous the other day. Somebody came in and said, "Oh, you're Lisa from YouTube. I need to ask you questions about the water rabbit because I'm 60 this year too." And I said, well, if you are 60 this year and you are then definitely a water rabbit, understand that this is the only year in your lifetime that you will experience your sign and your element in Chinese astrology, unless, of course, you live to be 120.
Which might happen.
Now, what's Savannah?
Oh, gosh. Savannah is saying...
surgery tomorrow.
Oh, gosh. And thank you for the super chat.
All right. Well, we will definitely do a reading for you, Savannah.
We will.
All right.
Anyway, pray continue.
Yeah, I just want to talk
this
about
is
something.
fascinating.
And I would love for you guys to chime in if you think of some that I've forgotten. So what I'm going to do is just talk about some synchronicities or some interesting things that kind of seem to be running on parallel between the 70s and the now.
Fascinating.
Really is, okay? All right. So I looked up what were the 3 primary issues in the United States in the 70s.
Oh, God.
Number
Crisis
1.
what crisis?
Number 1, soaring inflation.
It was, actually. It's pretty bad in the 70s.
Number 2, political upheaval.
Yeah, I think there was.
Number 3, the erosion of the United States prestige worldwide.
Yeah, we didn't behave at our best, did we?
And I thought, well, but compare that to what's going on now. So here are the things that...
Maybe not quite as bad.
No. But again, they're not quite as bad because we've got the bag of tricks.
Done it, seen it, got the t-shirt.
Right?
Maybe we've
we're
got
a little
better
more like
angle
the
on it
Fool now, where we've got the backpack
and the feather.
We've got the feather in our cap. We got the backpack, and we have a little handle on. I've been seen there, you know. All right. So, in the 70s, soaring gas prices and gas rationing.
Oh God, yeah. That's when they imposed the speed limit and they dropped it to 55 because of
rationing
gas. Yeah.
Well, we've come through the gas prices, but I think we've overcome that. We had President Nixon and his Watergate scandal and a special counsel assigned to it.
Oh, if only there was a parallel we could draw to modern times.
We had a civil rights movement.
Oh, well.
We had a women's rights movement.
Never mind civil rights.
And in 79, California signed the Gay Liberation Act. We were very concerned about the Vietnam War and its
probably one of the reasons our world prestige was somewhat eroded, to be honest. And it didn't do a wonderful job.
All
there,
right.
anyway.
And if we think about what's going on now with voting rights and the Roe v. Wade and
the Dobbs decision, the
transgender,
overriding of that,
there's a parallel here. But again, a knowledge of how to better handle the situation.
Isn't it? The parallel, it almost seems like there's this wrestle. Like there's a wrestle between the seasons when one season has to give way to the other.
Right, there's an ebb and a flow and a
push
back and a forth.
back push and push back and all that sort of stuff. But it's almost like the old guard, as was the white misogynistic sort of old guard is like entrenching they're digging their heels in, but changes are coming. It really is. It's got to.
New social roots were put down in the 70s and begot the me movement.
What was that? I don't know.
Well, it was it was self-care, but not. Like now we're doing self-care, but back then it was like, I'm important, what about you kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Very selfish kind of acts that I think
hedonism.
Well, I think we're seeing this in our government as well, because there are a lot of people that are not there to serve the people; they're there to serve themselves.
And that is exactly right. And it was really funny. If you give me just 2 seconds, a tiny digression here, because I was having. It was our psychic fair this weekend. Thank you so much, everybody that came out.
Oh my God, we had a huge fair.
Ton of people.
Nobody had any breaks.
I didn't. It was all a blur, but I remember talking with this young lady of colour about the way things are changing and stuff like that, and this idea that this book I suggest you should read, and if you guys have never read it, it's a science fiction novel, and it's actually from I think the 70s. I could be wrong, might even be the 60s, but it's A Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein, and it's so worth a read. And it maybe doesn't stand up now, but this guy comes from Mars, and it's all about the cultural differences and how they're more attuned to not my rights and my rights, but my responsibilities. What about your responsibilities? And it's really interesting that anybody who would run for political office in the land he comes from is immediately disqualified.
If you want the job, you can't have it.
That's exactly right, because you obviously have designs on that.
Well, listen, I don't know. I served on grand jury duty, and I wouldn't want one of those people to be put into the public office either.
I think if we teach people well, but then again, you've got to give people a good education.
God,
but we digress. We digress. Anyway, please continue.
So new social roots and the me movement. I will give Nixon credit for this. The EPA, the Environmental Protection Act, was under the Nixon regime. And we celebrated our first Earth Day in the 70s. And the Clean Air Act and the Clean Water Act were instituted. And if you've been hanging around, you heard me say before that I gave Nixon credit for that give a hoot, don't pollute, right? Because there really was a recognition in the 70s that things were
if we don't look after where we live.
Yeah. All right. Here's a fun one. Elvis Presley died in the 70s. They've just made it like an autobiography video movie of his life, and Lisa Marie has passed away. That's interesting. All right.
It's
weirdly
cyclical, isn't it?
It is.
Weirdly cyclical.
Again, it's like this is the next age, but we know that planets, when they're moving into a new sign, they move in, they retrograde, and they move in again.
So there is this back and forth, kind of shovey, pushing.
And this is kind of what we're experiencing. Where the next 10 years, we're going to be looking at things that parallel the 1970s. Floppy disk, microprocessor, chips, and the Ethernet all came into being. The first Boeing 747 made its commercial flight to the UK.
Oh, hey, how about that?
We had Apollo 13.
Oddly enough, the plane I flew to the US on the very first time, December 15th, 1998, in case you're interested, was a Boeing 747. So there we go. It was a British Airways Boeing 747.
The theme of the American dream was to just be able to live a peaceful life.
You know, the last 747, I think, just rolled off the production line, interestingly enough. They finally stopped manufacturing it. Fancy.
Apple computers came on the market.
We like Apple computers. Well, I do.
Pop art was very popular. So I think we're going to see a resurgence of that kind of thing.
Well, it's the guy we're working with.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, the guy that we're working with for our deck, yeah. Fondue was a big thing.
Oh, God, fondue. I remember fondue.
And now we see these fondue fountains in different restaurants. It's really funny. Of course, I can't do that because I'm a germ-phobic. So anything that's like people are touching.
Here, let me poke some cheese.
And I don't do buffet either because anything served under a sneeze shield is
well,
not
that's to
something
stop
I'm
people
eat.
actually sneezing on your food, isn't it?
There was a big summit meeting, and Nixon went to China.
Okay.
Margaret Thatcher was the first female prime minister.
Oh, yeah.
The UK took
was
over
interesting.
Northern Ireland.
Not a good scene. Yeah, no, the troubles in Ireland in the 70s were bad. They really were, yeah.
And in December of 79, Uranus made some very harsh aspects to Venus and the Moon, and there was that huge earthquake in Nicaragua.
Oh, right, yeah.
And
Yeah, no, that was a bad
Bangladesh
one, wasn't it?
flooded.
Oh, that was bad, too.
I'm a little concerned we're going to see, I talked about all the outer planets moving signs, and when Uranus leaves the fixed Earth of Taurus and moves into Gemini, which I do have the date for that over here, July of 25.
Oh, wow.
I think we want to look out.
What, keep our heads down?
Yeah. Now, because of the Vietnam War, the voting age was reduced to 18. So they decided if we're going to send them overseas and kill them, we should let them drink and vote,
Yeah, but they raised the drinking age to 21,
21,
didn't
yeah.
they? So that's a bit,
All right.
Seems a bit odd there. I don't know.
The Alaskan pipeline was finished.
Don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. Right to life, Karen Ann Quinlan was allowed to be disconnected from her breathing equipment. Then Jimmy Carter came in, and he got Israel and Egypt to sign the Camp David Accord.
Well, yeah, they were at each other's throats with the whole,
And there was the Iran hostage thing that probably did Carter in, because first handheld calculator came on the market.
I had a calculator in this. It was a fortune. I love the smell of it, though. Smelled like new electronics.
It's really weird.
They always used to smell kind of interesting.
All right. Teachers went on strike. There was a big teacher strike. The UK managed the first test tube baby.
Interesting.
So I think there's going to be
In vitro
a
fertilization.
real surge now with genetics and birthing kind of things.
Interesting.
And people started to become vegan. And there was a quote from Albert Einstein that said something to the effect of animal-based products will be the downfall of humanity's health. That we're not supposed to be carnivores.
A lot of people thought Einstein went off the rails towards the end of his life, but I think he started to uncover some things that that we poo-poo, like people poo-poo astrology. Don't.
Oh man, the more you know, the more crazy it becomes. Right? Hippies started a counterculture movement.
Yeah, man.
And hippies nowadays are called naturalists or bohemians.
Well, that's naturalists, not naturists.
Not naturists.
Sandals may be worn.
However, a couple of other things were really cool. Gardnerian Wicca really took off in the 70s in the States.
Oddly enough, I was quoting Gardner.
Ray Buckland, yeah. Because Ray Buckland really got to it in the 70s over here with his Scottish tradition of Gardnerian witchcraft.
Well, yeah, it's the Clark line, isn't it? It was
they're Clarkies.
Monique, whatever her
Wilson.
name was.
Monique Wilson,
who initiated him, yeah.
And this is my favorite thing that hit the market in the 70s. you gotta have your pet rock.
Oh, well.
So I have really
You've
high
got a few
hopes.
pet rocks. It has to be.
I have really high hopes
She talks to
for
her
the next
rocks.
10 years. But on a serious note, though, I really feel that in the 70s there was this surge of occultism
Oh, yeah, definitely.
and this surge of tarot and traditional Wicca.
People wanting to know.
And you had the birth of these stores in the city, like the Magickal
God,
Child and
yeah.
Enchantments, and Greenwich Village kind of morphed into.
Portobello Road in London, although
You
that
know,
was there for a long time. But it's interesting.
So my predictions are we're going to handle all these things a lot better than we have before, because shame on us if we haven't learned from past mistakes.
Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
And I really do think that humanitarianism is going to become fashionable again.
Well, that would be
Not
nice.
socialism, humanitarianism.
There's nothing wrong with socialism.
There isn't,
just
but
to be
I'm just
clear.
saying for the people who are nervous about that term. And I think the occult, meaning high magic, druidry, and witchcraft, Wicca, are going to really start growing. The feminist Wicca started in the 70s. Absolutely.
Yeah, Dianic Wicca, definitely.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
No, I mean, these are all the things we're going to see resurge. And some of them we could really do to embrace, right?
We could.
I mean, everybody's got to have a pet rock.
Well, true. But I would like to see everything in balance. I think things work best when the forces, the opposing forces, are harmonized. When we become the middle pillar. That's and respect everything. And I guess that's just like the core tenets of our belief, isn't it? Responsibility for your own actions and respect for all living things.
Yes.
That's pretty much it.
So
That really is it.
yeah. Hi, Sparky. Greetings.
Oh, hi, Sparky.
All right. So you guys know that I do tarot scopes every month.
You do.
And Anton has figured out some more YouTube cool stuff. So they're already recorded and they're set to be released on February 1st. So the tarot scopes in the pick a card pile will come out on the 1st of February on the channel. So watch for that in a couple days.
I'm not sure what time, but
I think it's in the evening. I'm not sure. Anyway,
remember.
it's
Don't
on the
remember.
1st. The tarot scopes will be out on the 1st.
excuse me.
But I'd like to talk a little bit more about the connection of tarot to astrology. And here's something else I'll share with you guys. Who's this? Anna? Can you read that?
I guess that huge bag of rocks I got at the crystal class last night could be pets.
They are. They're now your new familiars. Absolutely. Well, I think of the different kingdoms. We have the mineral kingdom. We have the plant kingdom. We have the animal kingdom, And next month's class, we'll talk a lot about rocks as familiars. But anyway, I digress.
Oh, but your
No, I'm
digressions
just-
have digressions,
Well,
dear.
because I'm finally starting to feel a little more like my old self. Although I was challenged a little bit yesterday. A couple people asked me questions that usually I can just rattle off answers, and I had to go, let me think about that a little bit.
They might have been deep philosophical questions.
No, they weren't deep philosophical questions, but I wanted to give answers that had threads of how they could follow how I got the answer, which is not always easy when you're a squirrel.
So you needed to do an explanation, not just a...
Hi, Cindy.
Hello, Cindy.
It's a beautiful, clear, crisp day. I'm glad it is where you are. We're going to have some rain today.
Yeah, ours is not clear.
Of course, they just finished our solar installation, so we've had no sun for like 3 days.
Of course, put it up in the middle of winter, when it's cloudy.
Anyway, for those of you who've been hanging around,
Yes.
you remember that I said the new moon had been 1 degree for several months. Mm-hmm. And so the new moon I would look at as the magician card. So
There's a thought.
yeah, it's a 1. And you could also look at the aces if you wanted to, because they are 1s as well. And you could also look at the wheel and the sun as ones if you were into numerology.
10 and
So now I'm taking tarot, numerology, and moon phases and putting
10
those
and
together.
19. Yeah.
10 and 19 are all ones.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay. Listening, Anna, this is some cool tarot stuff.
She's getting all numerological on us now.
Right.
Pardon me while I have a slurp.
A cool thing to do is to look at the degree that the moon is going to be full in and think about that energy as a tarot trump, right? A tarot card. Now, you are going to have the moon move past the degree that we have major arcana, right? So we only have 22 major arcana, but we're still going to have 23, 24, 25. So you have to reduce those.
Okay.
Right? And you could reduce anything above 9 degrees and have 2 cards.
Well, you can drop it down, I suppose.
But what I found very fascinating / disturbing
Oh dear.
is that October's full moon was at 16 degrees. So that's the Tower card. Yeah, here.
16, yeah, it is Tower, yeah. Oh, as if by magic she put it on the top of the pile.
Yeah. So
There's been some preparation
October's
here. Evidently.
October's full moon
I'll hold it.
was 16 degrees.
Well, hold up the
Now,
tower.
we could reduce the 16 to a 7 and say the Chariot.
You could.
And we certainly have seen things bursting forward in a chaotic way. November's full moon was at 16 degrees.
Tower card.
December's full moon
Don't tell me. 16 degrees.
was at 16 degrees.
January's full moon?
16 degrees.
Oh my.
In fact, also
In fact, the Leo full moon coming up is...
16 degrees.
Oh my.
And March and April's full moons are all going to be 16 degrees.
Well, there you go.
So I'm predicting that magically we are in for a wild ride. And if we do not harness this chaos and drive our own chariots, we're going to be in trouble.
Chaos is okay. You know, you can do stuff with chaos.
You can.
Just expect random results sometimes.
Well,
but
you can get a few things done at once if you harness it.
it's also an incredible time for discovery. You know, like nobody jumps out of the bath, start naked, going eureka. That's
No, but-
just they
but
just
think
go.
of-
That's weird.
All right, where did that word come from?
Eureka.
Uranus.
Does it really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, eureka. I found it.
Yeah, but it's
um,
Uranus energy.
I did
we're
not know
we're
that.
under this incredible Uranian. Anyway, go for it. Keep
But
going.
it is like, you know, scientific discoveries are usually prefaced with, "That's weird.
Yeah.
That's odd. That wasn't supposed to happen."
trying to find here.
You
Yes.
know, so then you go back
So
and
we have
you
this
check it
kind
out.
of movement. 16, which reduces to 7.
I think there's a lesson.
Bold movement.
I think there's a lesson here because I know, interestingly enough, that this card classically is shown as the moon. I mean, we've even got the moons on his little shoulder epaulette things there, you know. And
Well, it has a strong connection to the moon.
well, because the moon
It's the
makes the fastest
Cancerian
tour of the
energy.
whole zodiac, doesn't it? But for me personally, and I think also Lisa, I read this as a Sag card.
I do,
and-
because
and-
Jupiter is the planet of transportation
And this is
kind of thing.
so Sagittarian in its nature when you look at it. The Saggies, they're lovely people. I love them to small pieces. They're dear friends who are Sag. But Saggies tend to be a little bit Boolean, you know. Something is or it isn't. And it really is, that's it, you know. And this is the whole black and white thing and this head-on approach. You know,
Nothing is
direct-
black and white right now, though.
Well,
Everything is gray.
But that's yeah. But this is what happens when you have effed up communication. This is it. Things get oops,
Yeah.
you know, and so yeah.
Yeah.
And that the Tower card really indicates also the falsehood collapsing under its own weight.
The falsehood collapsing. Yeah. I think these next few months are
Maybe
really
illuminatory.
going to be incredible energy.
We should do Savannah.
Because of some of the things. Just I'm shuffling to do
Okay,
here, yeah.
you go first.
Really incredible in nature, meaning I think that if we look for the lessons to be repeated. We can make better decisions globally, countrywide, and then in our own personal lives. I think if you were alive in the 70s and making decisions, you may see that you're going to have similar decisions and choices to make now. But again, you have the resolve and the tools and a little more knowledge.
Poor Charlotte.
I know, she's really
tragic.
really upset.
She's locked out of the studio. She can't monopolize.
She's very talky.
She is.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so this is Savannah for her surgery tomorrow. Oh, these three have come together.
What she got? Oh, he came up so many times for me.
All right, I think you're a little bit worried, and I think you're feeling a little pressured. The sword's at your back, and you have the surgery card on the bottom. That's really funny. When I read, I always look to the card that comes to the bottom for insight about like the significator or the overview, and that's really funny. Anyway, I think you're a little bit nervous and maybe a little unsure about a few things. But again, when we look at this card, the water's trying to show the way forward. And I also think that you may have a very difficult time with anesthesia and that space of surrender, because anesthesia is very different from meditation.
Oh, completely.
But what I would suggest to you is the last thing that you're thinking about when they put you under is where you'll pause. So fill your mind with love and bliss and positive energy, and repeat to yourself, I am healthy, I am happy, whatever I am you can, and visualize success of whatever's going on. And I'm so sorry.
Need them.
Yeah, you are. And I think it's going to work out really well. And I'm going to say that you may notice positive effects from the surgery little by little, and then come the Virgo time of year, August, September, you're really, really going to feel better. So by then I think you'll have purged out any leftover residual medications, chemicals, anesthesia, and really have kind of rehabbed yourself. So give yourself a little time. It may take 6 months or so, even though you're going to be like, well, I had the surgery, I should be better now. Okay, that's my take on it.
I don't know if you're into pet rocks as well, but if you've got some red jasper and some, I want to say, is it Dragonstone, the one that gives really rapid recovery from surgeries?
Yes, and she's saying it's on her lumbar, so okay. I would do honey calcite too.
Yeah, that's good for the back, definitely. This, honestly, perception is key.
And she says she Reikis herself. That's awesome.
That's the best thing you can do.
Best thing you can do.
This, I mean, yeah, scary times. I mean, ostensibly this looks very worrying, doesn't it? But
right,
I mean,
swords at your back. Yeah.
It's kind of like, here's the blindfold and bound woman on a tidal flat surrounded by prisoners for swords when the tide is out. But it's just perception. Because if we look closely, there isn't a single knot on those binds. A simple shrug, they fall away. Lift the blindfold. You see the swords don't actually ensnare you at all. You just walk the hell out of there. Walk is key. Okay, walking is going to be key. It's going to be part of your recovery. This to me is, again, as well, is it's almost like a senseless argument going on, and I'm not sure what that's about. And maybe it's like an internal argument that you've got going on, and you might need to actually release something. I don't know whether it's shadow work you need to do or whatever, because the moon does alter our perspective, definitely. It's a different kind of light. It's a reflected light. So, to look within might be good, because this guy, if you look at him, the hermit here, his eyes are closed. So who's the light for that he's holding up?
Others.
But this is the light of the emerald tablet that is in that lantern there. It's that Merkaba, whichever way. And the amazing thing about Merkabas is that they're like I forget what the scientific name of the platonic solid is, because it's got a ridiculous number of.
Oh, like dodecahedron or something?
Yeah, but it's not.
That's not it, no, but I know what you mean.
It's like really weird. But it's like there is no upside down or right way up for it. And furthermore, the reflection angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection kind of thing. All of the light internally that would be reflected to a singularity, but it would also be radiating out in every single direction. So this is kind of like that, light that for all, but it's the light that comes from within, if that makes sense. So
She says, I'm going to make a grid before I go and leave it on my altar, and those are great rock ideas, and in fact I was bringing a red jasper.
There you go. Perfect. So for you, I think the light that you really need to harness, that internal light here, is that of healing. I mean, because any kind of medicine does, be it complementary, be it drug therapy, be it
Holistic,
actual
any
surgery, is promote the optimum conditions for healing to occur within us. But ultimately, we heal ourselves. That's it occurs within us. The healing occurs within. So really focus on you getting well and healthy. And you're looking at me like I've fallen off a log.
No, I'm looking at you and I'm thinking you're talking about good stuff.
What did I do now?
No,
it's the Y chromosome. Why is she
right,
mad
I
at me
won't
now?
look at you.
I don't mind you looking at me. But yeah, so you're going to be well. And just really focus on that. And it's important that you get yourself right internally. And if you're right internally, then externally, physically, you're going to be just fine. All right?
Yeah.
There you go. It's my 2 cents.
That's your 2 cents. Well, I just think that there are a lot of positive changes that are going to happen. Yes, definitely focus. And remember to focus on the good. Like last week I was joking about Louise Hay and saying that, it was only sort of a joke because I really have been doing Louise Hay before bed and listening to positive affirmations and kind of getting my mindset in that place because, again, it's very easy to fall into the fear or fall into the why me's or, be stuck in a place where you think you can't reach your way out of. But if you change your mindset, you really do get what you expect. One of the people at work was saying, I'm dreading making this phone call. This person's going to argue with me. And I said,
Write a different
story. Absolutely. I said, you're going to get what you expect. You've just told the universe you expect that you have to dread this phone call because it's going to be a big argument. Change the story. You're going to call this person and they're going to say, I'm sorry, and you're going to work out a new plan, and it's not a dread at all. So just change your mindset or your focus. And we were so busy for fair, so blessed, and it was wonderful. We had so many
lovely bunch of people that
great people came out, and we did. I keep stats, and grant you that last January we had kind of bad weather for fair, but we did nearly 100 sessions more than the year before, which is crazy.
No, it's lovely. Nobody got a break.
So I usually let Hannah go at 4:00, and Hannah's been working in the field since the 70s.
Oh yes,
she helped to coin
ESP,
and did some pioneer work there, and she also has been a priestess of Isis since this is like 76, I think.
Wasn't the whole, what's his name, Silver, didn't all that spring up in the 70s as well? And isn't that a big resurgence of that going on
Yes,
like
the Silva
right now?
method is really, Silva mind management, mind control, that's really something you guys should look into. Don't buy into the crazy regurgitated classes. Get yourself his manual.
Just go get the book.
Jose Silva's.
Get it from the library if you can't afford it.
All right.
Ask your library to get it for you.
Anyway, so Linda comes around the corner and she says, Hannah's ready to go home. It was 4:00 and I said, she can't. So she came back, she said no, because she had 4 more people. So at the end of the day, when I walked around the corner, Hannah, in her true hand-on-hip fashion, said, what have you been doing? And I said, Louise Hay.
Just a bit of magic.
I love Louise Hay.
Bit of magic. What's Mike have to say? As for healing from Breed, also as it's Imbolc as well, she will help you through it. Well,
Yes.
there you go.
It's definitely Breed's Gwalfred, Gwalmere, Breed's holiday, and she is a goddess of healing.
Amongst other things.
Amongst other things. Goddess of the forge, triple goddess, all kinds of things. But yeah, so Hannah's like, what have you been doing? And I said, Louise Hay. And she said, it's fantastic. It's working. And I think that our building kind of responds to what's going on in there. You know, like the fabric of the building is like a living, breathing, magical energy as well. So because I haven't been there very often, neither of us, because I've not been well, and I haven't really been able to stay focused or be so involved.
You're well on the mend.
The store was kind of in a
Missing you.
like a place of a dormancy, and now look out, because the mama's back, and I'm teaching with Anton Craft of the Wise. Tonight starts my astrology course. I'm teaching the chakra crystal energy clinician. I'm going to read on Fridays and Saturdays again. That was fun too.
She summoned me to bring out the foodie for part of the class last night.
Oh yeah.
And what did I walk into? It's like, what the hell's going on out there, people?
No, I am so blessed. The chakra crystal energy course is just filled with beautiful peeps that I love. Some people that we have one of the girls in there. I say girls, but we're all mature ladies.
Still girls.
Mastered in Reiki in 2007, so it was wonderful to see her again. And
God, that was before iPhones were invented.
stop. But anyway, we can really see this resurgence of positive energy, and I think when you come in the store, you'll feel it. In fact, a couple of people were saying there was so much energy in the store on Saturday it actually made me dizzy. But you think you you only have 5 readers, and you have all the people who came to see them, and then you have all the spirits that came with the people that came to see them, and it just keeps notching up through the day. And there was at one point just a sea of people looking for things and finding their things, and
just a lot of joy and love.
I'm all about that. I'm all about joy and love. I saw people I hadn't seen in years because I haven't been in the store, and I was able to get like 6 or 7 really good hugs, and I love hugs, and that brought the energy up. And I had a visit from the people who were helping us with Celtica.
Oh God, 345.
The customer, he'd been a customer a long time, because now we have 11,000 people on the database,
plus
and he's
12,000.
customer 345, and his wife was really, really instrumental in helping us with the business end of the Celtica project, which now has morphed into a little something different. And if you would please watch the barn restoration video and comment on it, that would be really, really helpful.
There is the Celtica story. It's coming. It's coming.
The
It's
story
coming.
is launching
It's
again in a
coming.
different guise. So, you know,
Well, that's what no plan survives contact with the enemy,
Right.
and we were victim of circumstance, with a
Well, we
global
explained all that
pandemic
in the
and
first
all that
video,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. So, but there's so much we can do.
people always say, is there anything that I can do to help?
Well, first you can mash the like button right now, because there's a bunch of you watching and you haven't done that yet. So do that right now. Do it now.
Right. You say, is there anything I can do to help? I want to volunteer to help. And for right now, the best thing you could do is just go on to any of our videos, like and comment. Sometimes people don't like to subscribe, and I understand that. It would be great if you can. But if you can like and comment, that gets us seen. And the more we're seen, the more traffic flow we have, the more people come to the shop. And, this cycle of positive just gets going and going and going. So just go on to any of our videos and make a comment, even if it's just hi there or like this, or, it doesn't take much of your time.
It doesn't.
And
it's
it would
good for the
really,
channel.
really, really help our channel. And helping our channel helps everything grow.
It does. Everything's connected. Everything's connected.
what else we
It
got
absolutely is. And I was going to say the energy in the store was fantastic on Saturday. It was beautiful. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Lisa and I always sing to the store when we leave, because it's such a magical place.
Well, it's a
and
vibration, isn't it? So, yeah, every night as we leave, we go, good night, our wonderful store, our wonderful, beautiful store, bum, 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 bum. Good night, our wonderful store.
Well, we're not saying goodnight to our store right now because it's the morning.
No, it's
well,
good morning,
It's
our
good,
beautiful
good
store.
afternoon even, whatever,
But yes, we sing to it, so it has a happy night's energy. So we're doing that again. You know, I think that kudos to the people who've been there when we're not there. But I think that the building likes it that we're back.
Oh, well, yeah. You're its mum.
And it's Mom.
You're its mum.
And we have to understand that the store is going through its first Saturn return.
Oh, God, yeah.
The store is 30 years old. It's finishing its first Saturn return. And I'm really excited to see the wisdom and growth that the store is going to take on coming through that Saturn.
It's quite an amazing
cycle.
kind of vibe when, you know, a lot of our, because we're a college town, you know, New Paltz is a college town, and a lot of our customers
Are younger
have
than
been
the shop.
haven't been on the planet as long as you know, Lisa's had the store. So it's kind
I
of
had a reading last week. You know, sometimes people come in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder.
some do.
And
yes.
sometimes, I said, yeah. So the person sat down at my table and looked at me and said, how long you been doing this? And I looked at her and I thought, probably as long as she's been alive. I was close. I said 37 years. Oh, okay. Because she was 40. But it's funny that I guess it's very difficult to find people who are credible and find people who have experience. I don't know. But some people do come in with that question, you know, that unless you've been doing this a long time, you don't have credibility. And I do think that experience is important.
It is.
But some people are very gifted
They are.
and haven't been reading professionally that long. So when you ask them and they have to say, well, I've only been here a couple of years, I don't think that discredits them. Especially not in our store because they have to read me to get the gig.
It's I don't know. There's also something magical about the fabric of the building itself. I'm fortunate enough when I read in Lisa's room, and
It's our room, silly.
The stuff falls out the walls there. It really does. And
Names
bless-
and places and
bless them,
statements
Yeah,
and-
I don't know where it comes from and what have you. And it was like I had a very cynical guy come to me on I don't know whether it was his first reading or whatever, but you could tell straight off his wife had drug him there and he'd come under protest, and this was all a bunch of tree-hugging hippie crap, you know, and he's just having nothing to do with it. And the spirit sort of obliged him,
Just
shall we
ping
say.
ping.
Just
Well, that
like-
happens.
And he's
That's-
like,
Yeah, that's like the guy that said, unless you can tell me what I do for a living, you know, this is going to discredit this whole reading. And I got the star card, and I said, star card. And I said, you're a weatherman. And he said, yes, I'm a meteorologist. So spirit will help you when you're challenged too. I don't know why I got on that tangent. I just thought it was really funny about
I have to learn to just trust, because some things I think, well, I can't say that. That's ludicrous. I need to take my head out of it sometimes and just say the ludicrous, because
Whatever
the
comes in.
reasons come up. That's it.
I mean, sometimes things come in and they're very difficult and you have to find a way to present them, but that's the responsibility of the reader. And I also think it's really important that all readers understand that you should not speak something negative into being just because you're being given information regarding it, right? Like, again, we've said this before, you would never say, oh my God, your Uncle George is going to die. You would say, oh, it looks like there's something pretty heavy going on with Uncle George. You might want to get him to the doctor, or if he already has a doctor, perhaps a second opinion. You want to illuminate something in a way that the person could be helped
Well,
by the
nothing's ever
situation.
set in stone, is it? You know?
No, the you know, everything is fluid that's going on in a reading. Then there's always free will, you know. So sometimes it is a little difficult to answer really directly, and it's not that you're trying to cop out, but you don't know what the other players are going to choose to do. You know, you can see what your client wants to do.
There is an element of people who say, oh, you're going to have a horrible car accident. Whereas
No.
Lisa and I would say, you maybe want to just be a little more cautious when you're driving.
Yeah.
Pay attention, especially to what's going around you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that we sugarcoat everything, but the idea is to be responsible in your presentation. So that's an important thing to learn, and some people need to take that to heart, I think.
This is very, very true. Very true.
Anyway, I don't want to be on this weird
No. It's gosh, what are we even...
She said her daughter's going to sneak some in-bulk things in. Well,
Contraband, eh?
interestingly enough, you know, following the Wheel of the Year, in-bulk is a cross-quarter Sabbath, so it happens midway in the fixed sign. So you have till Sunday because Sunday is actually 15 degrees Aquarius. Sunday is also the full moon, so it's kind of a double power there.
Yeah,
So you
no,
could
Leo
do-
full moon's an interesting one.
Leo full moon falls on the fire Sabbath this year.
Yeah, what's its name? Is it the barren moon? Because this is not
Not
the
a
time
time for planting, but it is a time for planning and being noticed.
It is a time to plan your planting.
Yeah, plan your planting.
Plan your
and
planting,
get
definitely.
noticed. And get noticed. So we want everybody. We have 12,000 subscribers now.
I know.
If you would all just please go and like all our videos,
Oh, yeah,
or just
no.
please go and like
Make a monster
and make a
difference.
comment, you could really turn that energy for us on. You know.
Yes, and thank you for those people who have just mashed the like button. I saw it jump up there, so thank you.
Yay!
That's very kind. We do appreciate it, and we appreciate you, and we love doing this. It's a nice thing to do. It's nice to be able to, spend the time doing this. We're very blessed that
Oh my God,
we are
yeah.
ridiculously
We can
blessed.
handle once a week. The 11sies thing was really tricky because we have too many hats.
Ooh, good to know, she says. Well, there you go, yeah.
All right. The other thing I'd love to ask of you guys is if you have any questions, I'm probably going to be starting in a month or two, Ask a Witch Mother. And I would
Another
love...
one.
Yeah, another
another one.
set of videos. Yep. What's this say?
Achiever, hey, can I ask a question? Of course you can ask a question.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Fire away.
Oh, you mean
That's
you want us to do a tarot reading for you? I don't know about that. But you can ask a question if you have
Yeah.
a general question about the craft or something we're into.
it is a chat show.
It's a chat show. Yeah.
We do chat. We've been known to.
Anyway, I want to start Ask a Witch Mother, where people who don't have access to, I guess an elder I'll call myself because I've been doing this over 30 years, someone to ask about the structure of the craft or traditions or whatever they'd like to
Well, how
ask.
stuff works. And if we don't know, we'll either make it up or no, we won't. We'll
And
We'll
if
probably
you have a subject you'd like book reviews for, let me know, because I have the next few ready to go up, but I would be glad to do some book reviews for people.
I think I might do a story time.
Well, Achiever, we're only doing readings for people who give us a super chat.
Yeah, because otherwise we'd wind up sort of like
Doing
here
100 free
until
readings.
Tuesday.
Yeah. So if you want to give us a super chat, we'll do a reading, but we're not doing free readings, only readings for super chats, because we'd end up doing like 40 readings instead of chatting.
Chat. We like to chat. Chat is good.
But yeah, I mean, I know some people have craft questions. Mm-hmm. And I know that there is just so many books on the same subject that we would love to do book reviews for you and say, these are the tried and true. Here's the original. These other 50 are just regurgitated of this original kind of.
A lot of people do say the same story sometimes, yeah. But I mean, it's okay.
We repeat ourselves a lot too.
We do. We do. I mean, we can all retell what we've learned. I mean, that's the whole collective human experience, isn't it? But it's interesting that you're doing all these book reviews, because there's some really good books, and there are some books that
Are questionable.
yeah, maybe don't buy that.
But I think we also have to understand we're kind of in that TikTok generation. Where
instant gratification.
Yeah,
Instant gratification.
I've been trying to do the TikTok. I can't do it. I'm too old for the TikTok. I just can't get into it. It's just
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to assign one of our younger folks to deal with TikTok, because I just can't deal with TikTok.
It's all right. But I find it a little banal, to be honest. But yeah, maybe I'm just old. Or seasoned.
Seasoned. There you go.
I can be funny.
Like a fine wine.
Yes. Bit early for fine wine, but whatever.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, if you have any questions, if you go on to the Wiccan Sabbats and Aspet video, you could ask questions in the comments.
Yes.
Again, questions pertaining to the craft, workings, research, things like that you're doing. I'd be glad to help people with that. We may, in the future, do our free readings again on an evening. But right now we just have so many things on our plate.
So many plates on sticks.
We can't manage 40 readings on a live right now. We have to put our energy into other things. Again, if you watch the barn restoration, you're going to see what we're planning for Celtica. What's Savannah saying? I'm sorry.
Try doing live readings there for their version of Super Chats. I see a lot of those and they seem very busy, but you give better reads.
What happens?
I don't know. I mean...
Try doing live readings there.
For their version of Super Chats. I don't get it. I see you there. I don't...
Well...
Okay.
Well, you're saying like we give better readings when we have Super Chats. Well, that's because each of us do 3 cards.
Yeah.
And we each read the 3 cards. But you're giving us an exchange of energy by giving us a Super Chat. Again, that also helps the algorithm on YouTube. But there were evenings when we were doing like 2 hours and we would do 1 card readings for free. Mm-hmm. And then each of us would do 3 cards for a Super Chat or a donation to the church or something.
Yeah.
But we have, buy me a cup of coffee and all that kind of stuff. But what'd she say there now? I can't see.
On TikTok. I mean, there's people doing live readings on TikTok.
They do live readings on TikTok?
That's weird. Isn't it? Okay.
For money?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea how TikTok works.
I don't know either.
Advertising.
I know. I was talking to Jen, and she said that there's a witch talk. And I said, really? She said, yeah, there's like a subgroup on TikTok for witches. But she said some of the people there are a little bit insane. And I said, okay.
Really?
I can see how that could be.
I'm surprised at that.
She said, yes, they argue among themselves.
Really? Surely that would never happen.
They argue among themselves about what is cultural cultural appropriation and blah, blah, blah.
Please.
And I said, oh, come on.
Please. I think a lot of people misunderstand cultural appropriation.
I think so too. What does this say now?
I'm saying you give better readings than those on TikTok. I've seen lots of them, but yours are better, and you can do them live on TikTok. Okay.
I had no idea.
I didn't know you did that.
Maybe instead of doing live on YouTube, we'll do live on TikTok then.
I didn't know. I've no idea. I'll have to dig in because
we'll have to do some research.
We have to. You just need to put witch talk. You just need to put at witch talk. Okay. The hash mark. Okay. Hashtag witch talk. Witch talk.
Interesting.
Maybe we'll go play. There's stuff. We have just so many things, so many plates on sticks. But you've got to learn. You've got to learn, and
I know,
we like to learn stuff.
And I know that most. I'm going to say most of the people out there doing this.
Gilda says she's too old for TikTok.
Me too.
Well, that.
Anyway, most of the people out there.
Me?
I know that most of the people out there doing this really have good intentions. But I think they don't have the experience necessary, or maybe the training, so they're kind of hicking up their karma a little bit.
Some people just don't care. They just pull it out their bum, They really don't care.
I don't know. I'm a little worried.
But to be honest, you take on a great... I mean, before I do readings, and I always do like a prayer, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
I ask, dear Lord, dear Lady, please open me up, allow me to be a channel of wisdom for those that come seeking today. Bless me on your white light of protection and correct any mistakes I make, for I'm only human.
I'm a human, yeah.
And this
and
is
you do
this
your
is
best,
yeah. And I tell people who come to see me, you might come back in a year's time or whatever and say, you said what? And I'll go, what? Because honestly, I have nothing to do with this. I say I have nothing to do with this. I mean,
you're just
my mouth opens and
but
words
you're not going to
fall
remember.
out.
I know people get very upset with me. They'll call and say, I didn't write down what you said, and you were talking about my cousin Brian, and I'm like, I don't even remember you, let alone what I said about cousin Brian.
Sorry.
What does Savannah say now?
She says, lol, yes, you could do well there. You just got to figure out the ins and outs of how to navigate it. Just another language. Oh, well, it's just another language.
She's
we'll all be polyglots
she's
then.
putting it back on me because all I see you have to just find a way to learn another language.
Well,
all right, I'll try. I'll try because sometimes I look at things and I go, don't say that to that person. And I think, what are you doing? Oh, no, that's not right. But I guess it's right for whoever they're talking to.
Yeah, because there is what I was trying to say is that there's a responsibility when somebody comes to you for counsel. you know, about speaking things into being, because you can do somebody's head in. If you tell them they're going to go and have a horrible car accident, it's quite likely they
listen.
will.
Don't
they will. They'll go, oh God, you know, and you know, they're so hung up looking for the horrible car accident, they manifest one. So I prefer to say, you know, look, you know, if we try to give good advice, that I would say.
Well,
there's a
perfect,
great
you know.
responsibility with doing a reading, and it's not something you should enter into lightly.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's 100% psychic. And again, free will is always at base. But you do your best. And I think to face it responsibly is important, especially since we can see the resurgence of tarot and the huge number of people who are doing tarot for self-help, branching out to doing counseling. And, you know, there's a huge difference between reading for yourself and looking into somebody else's life.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely. Anyway, listen, we've been gabbing for about an hour.
I think we should pull card of the week.
We should. Oh, go for it then.
We have to have a card of the week.
We do. This is a new one. It's a new one. Oh, I love that one. Do you want me to go first?
Yes,
then?
please.
3 of Cups. It's a fantastic card. This. It very much to me is about, you know, friendship, support, celebration, joys, the support of the sisterhood, the you know, the kind of caring and carefree at the same time, because being carefree means not burdened with worry, you know, but you're caring at the same time. So there's a lot here going on, and there's just a rich abundance. There's a great harvest. So all in all, this week is going to be what you make it. And if you focus on supporting others and having fun, guess what you're going to get?
I'm going to say that this card is about remembering to raise your glass and toast all that is good in your world.
Gratitude.
So let this week be an attitude of gratitude. Let this week be your week of thankfulness as we come towards the full moon. Drive your chariot of chaos and be thankful for all the blessings that you have, for your family, friends, and any divine gifts. So raise your glass, toast the Lord and Lady, and toast yourself for the things that you've accomplished. All right, that's us for today.
It is actually. I think that's probably
off to the races.
We've got a million and one things to do. So
it's going to make seduction candles today. For those of you who are looking for those.
We seem to have a run on them.
Sold out of those because it's almost Valentine's.
Oh, you naughty people!
We're going to get the next episode of the barn thing going.
Yep.
And I'm going to teach an astrology class. So
all in all, a fun-filled and fun-packed day.
The days are just packed.
There you are.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching. Be blessed. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, and we'll see you again real
Peace,
soon. All right. Do
peace.
please like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends all about us. Alrighty.
Yes, please comment.
Thank
please
you.
comment.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
thank you,
You're
thank you.
welcome. Thank you.
Have a great one. Bye.
Bye.